Hello, my name is Christopher Jacobs, and today I'm presenting a slideshow titled Foundations of Healthy Ministry Leadership. Healthy Ministry Leadership. Ministry leadership is more than receiving a calling or holding a position. A person can be genuinely called by God and still need years of growth before they are prepared to lead people well. Healthy leadership develops through character, humility, spiritual maturity, relationships, and intentional preparation. The goal is not simply to become an influential minister, but to become a faithful and healthy minister who can serve people well for the long term. So today, I want to look at several foundations that help a minister develop into that kind of a leader. Character before leadership. The first foundation of ministry leadership is character. Leadership influence should come from who a person is, not simply from the position that they hold. A healthy leader must be humble and teachable. Ministry will expose weaknesses, mistakes, and areas where growth is needed. So a leader has to be willing to receive correction and learn from failure. Forgiveness is also part of that process. Leaders will work with imperfect people, and they will sometimes be hurt by them. Biblical leaders such as Moses and Barnabas demonstrate that God develops people over time. The goal is not perfection, but a willingness to be shaped by God. Character has to develop before influence can be sustained. Servant leadership. Christian leadership is fundamentally servant leadership. Jesus is the model because he demonstrated authority through service rather than status. A servant leader does not primarily ask, "How can I get someone to follow me?" Instead, the question becomes, how can I help the people God has entrusted to me become stronger and more faithful? That changes how we think about leadership. Authority becomes responsibility. Leadership becomes stewardship. Instead of controlling people, a healthy leader develops people, equips them, and creates opportunities for them to serve. In ministry, success is not simply getting people to accomplish something, it is helping people become more like Jesus. Shepherding people. Ministry leadership is also relational. A pastor is not merely an administrator who organizes programs. A pastor is a shepherd. A shepherd knows the people, knows the sheep, cares for them, guides them, and understands that different people require different kinds of care. That means ministers have to learn how to work with people who have different personalities, backgrounds, strengths, weaknesses, and expectations. This is why relationships are so important in ministry. Vision, preaching, and organization matter, but they all have to connect to real people. A healthy leader learns to listen, communicate, encourage, correct, and care. Vision without losing people. Healthy ministry also requires vision. Vision answers the question, where are we going and why are we going there? A ministry leader needs to establish a clear direction, but vision cannot remain something that only exists in the pastor's mind. It has to be communicated clearly and transferred into the hearts of the people. That means leaders must bring people into the mission rather than simply giving them instructions. And vision should not be measured only by size. A larger church is not automatically a healthier church. Faithfulness to God's purpose is a better measure of success than numbers alone. Leading yourself well. Before a minister can consistently lead others, he has to learn how to lead himself. That means developing self-awareness, recognizing insecurity, understanding personal limitations, and maintaining spiritual health. A leader who cannot regulate himself can easily allow frustration, insecurity, exhaustion, or personal preferences to influence ministry decisions. Spiritual health also requires intentional rhythms of prayer, scripture, rest, and reflection. Ministry can become consuming very quickly, so a healthy leader has to establish habits that protect both his spiritual life and his ability to serve effectively. Rhythm, responsibility, and delegation. One practical part of healthy leadership is finding a sustainable rhythm of work and responsibility. Ministry requires consistency. Without a dependable rhythm, preparation becomes inconsistent and responsibilities begin to pile up. At the same time, Healthy leadership requires delegation. A leader should not try to do everything personally or by themselves, but delegations cannot become an excuse for avoiding responsibility. The goal is to distribute work while still remaining accountable for the mission. This is something I have been thinking about through my own mentoring conversations. Finding the balance between delegation appropriately, maintaining personal responsibility, and developing workload rhythm that actually allows you to serve well. Lifelong development. Finally, healthy ministry leadership requires lifelong development. Receiving a calling does not mean that a minister has finished growing. Good leaders continue learning. They seek mentors, ask better questions, pursue further education, evaluate their weaknesses, and prepare for challenges before they arrive. Ministry also changes over time. The needs of a church, its community, and its people will not always remain the same. A healthy leader therefore maintains a long-term vision while remaining teachable enough to adapt. The goal is not simply to prepare for the next ministry assignment, but to remain faithful throughout an entire lifetime of service. Faith application. So what does this look practically? First, protect character before pursuing influence. Second, lead people by serving them rather than simply directing them. Third, develop rhythms that allow you to remain spiritually healthy and consistent. And finally, remain teachable. Ministry is not sustained by giftedness alone. It requires humility, discipline, relationships, spiritual health, and a willingness to keep growing. Whether someone is preparing for pastoral ministry, leading a small group, serving in youth ministry, or simply taking responsibility in the local church, these principles apply. Faithfulness for the long term and conclusion. A minister's greatest measure of success is not how impressive his ministry appears, but whether he remains faithful to God over time. Calling begins the journey, but character sustains it. Servant leadership shapes how we treat them. Shepherding teaches us how to care for them. Healthy rhythms allow us to serve consistently. Mentoring and lifelong learning helps us and keeps us growing over time. Healthy ministry leadership is therefore not about becoming the most important person in the room. It is about becoming the kind of person God continues to use. Faithful, teachable, spiritually healthy, and committed to serving His people for the long term. Thank you very much, and have a great day.